Spawning here in the top right, representing China, DuGu as the blue Zerg.
And his opponent here. And the bottom left, we have eOnzErG, our red Zerg player. Was this? Oh, this is Radeon? Or is this Polestar?
This is Polestar. Yeah, yeah. Well, let's see if eOn's gonna play hyper aggressive like he usually does in ZVZ. Could just be a fairly early pull here from him. He does like to lean into that 9 pull a lot.
Yeah. So my first introduction to DuGu here is going to be a ZVZ. So at least get an idea of how he wants to play this matchup. I feel like ZVZ is not the best matchup for identifying like a person's tendencies, right? Because there's just a lot of different just build order choices, but doesn't really tell you much about like how the player thinks about the game per se.
Yeah, you might get an idea of how much of a macro or micro guy they are depending on what build orders they take. You know, someone that's not confident in their unit control, going to be taking a bit more of a passive reaction. Go on.
11 hatch versus 9 pull here, but it is cross spawn. It's going to be 11 hatch, 10 pull, right?
Yeah, this is, I mean, unless you get your lings, what you should do is like kind of check the close positions with your lings. So there's a chance that eOn actually goes bottom right with 5 lings and sends 1 cross map and might not spot this in time as a result.
Yeah, this actually could be pretty unlucky for eOn actually because of that. I feel like that's likely what's going to happen, right? That's kind of the typical attack pattern.
Well, you can drone scout, it's just so bad. So because you're not drone scouting, you kind of have to like hedge your bets and hope he's close spawn and then suck it up when he's not. If you were drone scouting, you could like kind of send your links towards the center and then react. He's actually going cross map.
With all of them.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't see the overlord, but he doesn't know for sure because DuGu could be reverse overlord scouting, but he's assuming that DuGu is top right, which is actually going to be correct.
And DuGu didn't save Larva either for lings, by the way. He was like mega greedy here. So he is in a ton of trouble. This hatchery is almost guaranteed to go down because, like I said, he didn't save Larva, so he's going to have to pull a lot of drones with these lings popping up. We're going to have ling speed and more lings for eOnzErG. So with proper control, this should be very, very good for eOn.
He's setting up for a bit of a flank with the drones now. Get a good slide onto those lings. Tries to catch them, but a lot of them getting into the main base. Ling speed is now kicked in as well. A lot of chaos. Could create a ladder out of it and climb. Now 3 lings on the hatchery and the natural. Going to rotate back around, doing a little bit of a ring around the Rosie, and he will get the kill on that hatchery critically. As long as he doesn't trade poorly from this point onwards, it's super hard for DuGu to win this game now.
Yeah, it's kind of game over. Like, I assume there are ways you can still try to play it out, but I personally have never seen someone come back after losing the hatchery. The way eOnzErG did that, I thought was really interesting. At first, I hated the way he tried to run past everything in natural because I was like, we're bleeding lings. But the chaos allowed him to kind of focus on the hatchery with the backup lings.
Yeah.
Right?
I've seen really weird ways of trying to combat this. They're not necessarily good, but you can technically, for example, make a creep on the natural before it recedes and then set up a spore timing to then retake your natural, but that doesn't feel good because you can't always make enough lings to survive against the speed lings. There's no real good answer to this. There are options, but none of them are really that great.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I respect that he's going to try and play it out. I almost always see players just GG out when the hatchery dies, but we'll see what he's got in mind for it. The issue is that you're behind in lings, and you're behind on the Spire, and you don't have a hatchery or an expo to take anymore, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, you're just behind in every metric, other than, I guess, drones, right? He does have a lot of drones.
Yeah, but the Spire is so far behind. He's not even got a Spire. He's going to have to go spores, man.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. This doesn't feel good. It is cross map as well, so he can, like, delay his spore timing by a few seconds than he would usually, but he might just die to lings still. Like, there's such a massive flood of lings coming. If he's going to be caught between a rock and a hard place. He might have to make sunks to not die to the lings, and then the mutas are going to kill him.
Yeah, it's tough. He does have a really nice setup with his Lings here at least, so he's going to trade as best as he can. But yeah, I think you're right. He's going to have to need Sunkens and Spores. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds awful. One base Sunken Spores.
Yeah. I mean, he's got one Sunken, and he's going to make a backup creep to make a Spore. I guess he's alive. I can't imagine he's going to win this game, but I guess technically there's a way, maybe if Eon blunders this game, but I don't think Eon is likely to throw this game away.
Yeah, from here, Eon, I guess if he wanted to, he could just drone up and take his expansion as well, right? And just kind of play it from that.
Yeah, that's the safest way.
He's going to go Sunkens, though.
Oh my gosh, he's going to Sunken push him. Yeah, this is definitely an option, man. You can play this out in so many different ways. You know, you can be hyper aggressive with this Sunken push, or you can just drone up, take your natural. Both cases are pretty good in this scenario. I mean, the only real counter to that is to counter Sunken push, and you can't really do that because the Sunkens will be out of range of the safety of the Spores to the Mutas. So there's no real good answer to what eOnzErG is going to be going for here with the Sunkens.
Yeah, the Sunken actually is super smart. It's definitely not something that's crossing my mind, but I think it's cool that Eon thought of it. And yeah, with the Mutas covering and the Lings, there's just no way to stop these Sunkens from coming up.
Yeah. And the funniest thing is because the hatcheries are in this configuration, like if it was the other way around where he was in the top left, he could lava trick away from the creep Cunleys, but he can't even do that. So the creeps can also kill the eggs that are morphing stuff if he wanted to.
Yeah. He is getting his own Mutas out right now. And the only win condition I see potentially for DuGu here is if he gets enough of those Mutas up, because eOnzErG's not mining very much. I think he's got one on gas, right? So he's pretty heavily committed to this. Oh, we actually saw the attack bug or something.
I actually think this is a mistake from Eon. I think he should have killed some of the eggs making Mutas. Just to like really guarantee air superiority. I think that's like the one way of guaranteeing winning. Whereas now there's a chance that DuGu could squeeze out just barely enough Mutas to hang on.
Yeah, I'm actually starting to get worried for Eon here. I think he's down in the Muta count, or at least close to it, and there's a Scourge right here, so yeah, he's just gonna commit to it. The main hatchery, the lair does go down.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Yeah, I think he could have guaranteed the win with the egg snipes, but at least he killed the main lair. So as long as he just doesn't lose the air battle now, we're in a good spot no matter what.
What an interesting game state we're in. Is DuGu winning, though? I kind of like his position a little bit more.
Well, he just has to win one air fight, right? Like, the longer the game goes on, the worse it gets. But if he squeezes out a few extra Scourge and what have you, and he wins in the air battle, then it's all over for Eon. He just needs to pull all of his resources into as many units as possible and then go. He can replace the hatchery in the main, but he has to wait for this Muta to pop.
I mean, he's kind of out mining him, although we're having to put like 6 on gas right now to mine that efficiently, which kind of hurts.
Yeah, this is kind of wild. I'm super surprised he's not being more aggressive. I guess he's worried about Eon backstabbing him, but he's got Spores, so he shouldn't be. But the hatchery being built actually slows down his gas mining even more until it's finished, so he's got hardly any gas coming in. I'm super shocked that he's being so passive while recovering.
I don't know that this really gets better for eOnzErG though from here, honestly, because when his hatchery finishes, DuGu's going to be on mining him by quite a bit.
Yeah, but I don't think that matters. I mean, he's going to get such a gas lead until that hatchery finishes. He's going to be up by about 400 gas, approximately.
Yeah. What's the Muta count for DuGu?
It's 9 versus 10, yeah. He should be ahead in gas, eOnzErG, that is.
Yeah. DuGu does have these Spores, though. But, like, how does Eon kill him? I guess is my question. Like, I feel like he can't kill him.
Well, that's the game plan for DuGu, is be unkillable and take a natural. And that means Eon has to take an air battle now as a result. And pretty good Scourge connections, but also good micro from eOnzErG. He's going to almost get a snipe on this hatchery. Just one more volley will do it. And he actually forces the cancel before finishing it off. Does get some good Scourge connections though, does Eon, and he's not messing up with his volleys either. The Scourge of DuGu lagging behind, but this is a very close fight once those Scourge catch up. Does manage to find connections on those. Suddenly Eon in massive trouble, man. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I swear to you, Eon should have just targeted those eggs with the Sunkens, and that's a 1 game, I promise you.
Yeah, pretty brutal for Eon. I don't know. I really like this position. I didn't hate the call with the Sunkens either. Like, it's not what I was thinking, but I'm not going to say it was a bad call. I think you're right. He allowed those mutas to hatch when he actually could have stopped them with the Sunkens. And
yeah,
that's what I was saying. Like, didn't have the big gas bank. Eon wasn't mining gas anymore. So it was only a matter of time before DuGu got more air superiority.
Yeah. I mean, eOnzErG, don't get me wrong, is leagues better than me as a player. But one thing I know for sure is if you're going to Sunken push in that situation and you have the lava on the left of the hatchery so they can't lava trick away from the Sunken, it's more or less a 1 game if you just target those eggs.
Yeah. All right, well, DuGu gonna claw that game back and win that first game, and it looks like we're ready to go ahead and jump into the next game here. It's gonna be game 2, eOnzErG versus DuGu on Roaring Currents. Nice.
Let's get it. Spawning here in the top right, representing China, the blue Zerg, DuGu.
And his opponent here in the bottom left, gonna be our red Zerg, eOnzErG, currently down 0-1, but let's see what he can pull off this time.
I just thought, I wonder what is going to be the build order choice on this map, because the rush distances are so long that something like a 9-pool actually not the best of plan here, and that's usually Eon's go-to. I'm curious if he's going to mix it up just because of the super long rush distances.
Yeah, I wonder if DuGu just goes 12 hatch again, because it's or 11 hatch rather, because it's kind of just a better map for it even, I would think.
Well, I guess if Eon could be super aggressive and go for like 7-pool speed and catch DuGu off guard, thinking that he's safe to a 9-pool, but he doesn't know for sure that he's going to go for that hatchery first, I guess.
Yeah, what a massive risk that would be, huh?
Seems like Eon could be playing more eco.
Yeah, both players. Actually, is he starting to pull there? Okay, so DuGu did go for the 12 pull here, and it looks like eOnzErG are going to go for that 12 hatch, so this is actually a nice start for Eon.
Yeah, this is pretty good. He's actually going to win the rock, paper, scissors right off the bat, but it's a soft counter, right? It's not like 12 pull is infinitely worse than 12 hatch. It's just slightly better to go for 12 hatch. So
nope. GG, go next. Game's over.
it's not, ZBZ's not quite that crazy, even though it is crazy.
Oh man, yeah. So yeah, gonna be a slight advantage for Eon. It's like you said, it's nothing huge. It's not like game ending, especially because of the distances, right? Like typically in maps like this, any advantage you have, like any small advantage you have, is kind of undone by the time you travel across the map, right? So there's plenty of ways to adapt to whatever's happening. Right.
And eventually, DuGu is gonna, know what's going on because he's got a guaranteed Overlord scout. But it does take a long time for the Overlords to actually get over there with the cross map. I don't think this is going to be a bad game. I think that despite it being a slight lead for Eon, on this map especially, I think this is going to be a pretty drawn-out ZVZ.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, this is almost definitely Hive gameplay coming in, surely.
You reckon there's going to be like Devours and Plagues and stuff?
Yeah, we dream. We get to see it every now and then, but extremely rarely at the high levels.
1 game in 1,000 type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rare, but it is really fun. Like, you can go for the tempo play with Devours because you get there quicker than throwing down the Defiler Mound and waiting for Consume and Plague to finish. If you're pretty ahead, you can throw down 2 Defiler Mounds, but that's super rare. So usually you could either go for a Devour tech to get the tempo over on the guy and break him right before he's got Plague online.
Okay, we're getting a Sunken out of Eon's, which indicates that he wants to drone a lot more. Although I say that as he's making more lings, so maybe I'm wrong about that.
Well, I have a feeling this is going to be a really good ZVZ, because I don't think either player is going to be able to do anything to one another for quite some time.
Yeah. Eon is enjoying a massive 2-drone lead right now.
Yeah, well, to compensate, we've got a slightly delayed sunken from DuGu. Like, the sunken from Eon was really ahead of schedule, whereas DuGu's only just now getting his to kind of compensate. So he's sort of evening out those odds ever so slightly, but he is still going to be behind by about a drone or two.
Yeah, and we're reaching that stage now where both players kind of tucking their overlords in different places, trying to hide them a little bit. And just kind of move them away from their opponent so that it doesn't get picked off by the mutas very, very easily.
Well, if it does get picked off, you want an opportunity to counter and kill drones, right? Like, you want the overlord so far away that they have to get out of position to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a lot of things.
Yeah, Eon going to be getting mildly aggressive here. Pretty decent Ling flood coming in here, but there is that sunken defensive posture here from DuGu. The timing of it's actually really nice though, because this is when DuGu wants to be making his mutas, and he's going to be spinning some larva on Lings instead, so this is actually kind of a nice play.
But I like this from DuGu. Like, he's making the Lings and the natural mutas in the main. That's definitely probably what you want to do in this situation, and using out some drones to help out as well to buffer and hold the line against those Lings to stop them from getting too many into the main base. He is going to get in there with 4, a few of them on quite low HP. The muta's just about to pop, but maybe I was going to say maybe you get a single drone kill here. He's going to try and do it now, but I think with some good drone sliding, you avoid that. He didn't lose any drones during all of this.
Yeah, pretty nice. And DuGu also got away with skipping Ling speed, which is a nice, kind of small boon for him here. And he did a great job of rotating the drones. The ones that were defending the sunken, he rotated them into the gas as they were getting attacked. So really great job by DuGu to take 0 drone damage there.
Honestly, it's very evened out the game now. Like, the hatchery first no longer going to be much of a factor, I would say.
Yeah.
Eon's actually sending out a drone. Is he going to try and take the 3rd at 9? That's pretty greedy. It might not get scouted, I guess, but he's also got to survive. So yeah, let's see. Because I mean, he's spending a lot of minerals to do that. Oh, he's going to hide the hatchery underneath the gas. Oh no, he's not. Okay. I thought for a second he was going to build the hatchery underneath.
Can you afford to do this?
Technically no, but on this map maybe you get away with it.
Yeah.
Like, this might be one of the rare situations where this is actually viable. Like, usually you'll get so punished for doing something like this unless you're playing against the worst opponent.
Yeah. All right, well, yeah, he might get away with it. He's gonna need to build a few extra drones as well to kind of, spend, because he does need a little bit more mineral income as well. Like, he's gonna need 3 for the gas and a little bit more mineral income to help pay for the extra gas income, right?
Right. But I mean, what Eon is doing is how you play mid-game ZVZ, where you know that there's not going to be much action. This is what you want to go for. This is like the ideal case scenario. And if he does get this not scouted and actually gets away with it, that's going to put him way ahead of DuGu.
Yeah. Well, there we do see a couple extra drones coming out to kind of prepare for the extra gas income that we'll be having here in the next few moments.
Yeah, just trading some skirch. Yeah, nothing crazy. Probably one of the most
battle.
Besides that Ling attack, probably one of the most chill ZVZs we've seen in forever.
Yeah.
No rush, 20 minutes, go.
But this call from eOnzErG might actually pay off. I mean,
yeah.
If it goes much longer, it looks like he's going to scout it now, but that puts pressure on DuGu to get aggressive, which is not going to be good for him, actually, because, again, like, these builds, especially in ZVZ, the defender is always going to have an advantage. So when you're mirrored like this, and you're being pressured not to attack, like, he has to make something happen. It is going to be defender's advantage while also having the eco advantage.
Well, already Eon is ahead because he's going to have extra lava from that 3rd hatchery. Even before that gas is mining, he's going to be ahead by being able to squeeze out a few extra Scourge here and there. He's going to lose an Overlord, though, which does supply block him, so that's a good pickup from DuGu. Also kills a pair of Scourge to start things off. There's some mutas a little bit out of position. Does take a volley as a result, but also eats up one of DuGu's mutas with his own Scourge. Good micro, though, from eOnzErG, already chipping away at the Scourge count of DuGu. Gets a free volley in on that muta stack as well.
Yeah, it feels like this is going really well for eOnzErG. Does lead off one mute on the outside, but overall the trades are going really well for him. Hit a lot of the Scourge, I think finally maybe one connected, but overall it's been going great for Eon. With the additional Scourge here. A couple connections there from DuGu, but this does look like a big mute lead from Eon.
Yeah.
Gonna push him back here with that third gas on the way behind us.
It's a massive muta lead right now for Eon. I don't know the exact count, but it's something like 13 to 10 or something, 9, something like that. Okay, now it's up to 11. Still going to be enjoying a pretty hefty lead, and he's got lots of Scourge coming in reserve as well. He's going to start supply blocking DuGu by killing off an Overlord, and now mining this third gas just a little bit is really going to pay dividends in the long run. There's going to be 2 Lings trying to backstab and stop that gas mining from occurring, but Eon ready to clean that up.
It's the slow Lings as well, right? We see the extra drones coming here to start mining, and yeah, this play from Eon paying off huge, right? He takes the eco advantage. He plants down a hatchery. I love plays like this. I just think it's so smart doing things like this, where it's like you make a play, and it's like, okay, you have to do something now. Ball is in your court, or you lose.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to play StarCraft. Generally speaking, you just want to keep asking questions of your opponent until they don't have the right answer.
Yeah.
Okay, big counterattack though from DuGu, heading to the natural expansion. Slightly out of position is eOnzErG, might lose at least one Overlord before collapsing on this army. Might not lose too many drones though, he's already in pursuit of this air fleet. He's going to try and chase it away. I think Eon is still in a pretty fantastic position, but he is technically supply blocked right now. Ooh, these Scourge connections are pretty huge.
Okay. All right, a lot of Scourge connections there, but Eon's still enjoying a pretty nice muta lead here. Gonna start chasing his mutas down here, and yeah, this is gonna force DuGu to kind of turn and fight him some.
Ooh.
And yeah, with him getting pushed all the way back here with a disadvantage, this does also expose the 12 o'clock spawn and a few Overlords as well here on the outside. And nice of Eon pull back, kind of at the perfect moment. Don't want to chase too far into the reinforcements. Just take your wins right now, regroup, and get ready to go again.
Yeah, this is pretty smart from eOnzErG, man. He's so far ahead. I mean, DuGu's just now starting to take the gas at the third location. Meanwhile, eOnzErG's been mining that for a good couple of minutes, so he's so far ahead on gas. He's going to have like almost 1,000 gas lead at this rate. It's kind of insane. He's already winning the air battle as well, so it's just exponential gains from here on out. DuGu feels like he has to make spores just to survive, and he's even being denied placing those.
Yeah, he's down in the mutas, and there's about 4,000 Scourge across the map, so it's not looking good for DuGu here. Gonna jump on top of these mutas. He's gonna try and fight it out a little bit, but gonna lose this battle. And Eon gonna take a pretty cool ZZZ win here in game 2. I liked the way he played this out. Again, for me, this hatchery placement at 9 was just a game-winning play.
No, absolutely, man. Really fantastic stuff from him. And I feel like Eon should have won that first game as well. I feel like, just killing the eggs would have been great. But he seemed like the better ZVZ player, right, in both games.